Muletrain!
And it is time now for the Muletrain News Program on this Columbus Day here in America, Monday, October the 12th, 2015, brought to you today by the First Bank, along with Leal's Mexican Restaurant.
The high in Millshoe on Sunday officially was 89 warm degrees, but the low was a cool 53. And at 7 o'clock on Columbus Day morning, Monday, it was 62 degrees officially here in Millshoe. And talk about a roller coaster of a ride on our weather. On Friday, the high was 61 degrees, but the next day it was 20 degrees warmer at 81 on Saturday. And now 5 area telephone West Plains Telecommunications brings you the weather forecast for Millshoe, Sudan, Amherst, Earth, and our entire vicinity.
5 area telephone West Plains Telecommunications, located at 302 Uvalde Street. Call 806-272-5533, offering phone, internet, and now home automation. Check them out online at www.5area.com. Looking at our weather forecast for today, we have a cool front that's moved through the area. We'll have dry and windy conditions with wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Sunny with a high near 79 degrees today on Columbus Day. 20 to 30 mile per hour northeast winds with gusts as high as 35, maybe up to 40 miles per hour. Mostly clear. Low around 46 Monday night. Northeast winds calming a little down to 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunny on Tuesday, high near 83 degrees. West winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, becoming southwest in the afternoon. Mostly clear Tuesday evening with a low around 55 overnight. Wednesday, sunny, high near 86 degrees, so warming up quite a bit on Wednesday. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming south in the afternoon. Mostly clear Wednesday night, low around 57. Sunny, high near 84 on Thursday. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low around 55. Mostly sunny on Friday, high near 70 degrees. So cooling down on Friday night, partly cloudy, low around 50. 5 area telephone West Plains Telecommunications has presented to you this edition of the weather forecast.
And my, did the Millshoe Mules certainly beat. They smothered River Road, in fact, on Friday night. 59-0 was the 1st District 1-3A Division I opener. And Danny Campus threw for the Mules 500 yards and 7 touchdowns as Millshoe walloped River Road of Amarillo area. Campus completed 28 of 39 attempts, and his TD passes went to 6 different receivers. And only Aaron Ross caught more than one of those, a 2-yarder for an early 12-0 lead, and a 7-yarder that made it 38-0 before halftime. Other scores in our immediate area: Farwell 20, Sudan 6, Floydada 56, Olton 14. In our district, Childress beat Littlefield 42-28, and Dimmitt 13, Freona 12. And you know, Freona will be our Friday night opponent there in Freona. Shallowater 49, Kermit 0, Lasbuddy 22, Plainview Christian High School 61. There was a bridal shower on Sunday afternoon in the beautiful home of Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Barrett, honoring Miss Hillary Tips. And Hillary and her special guests, her mother, Liz Tips, her grandmother, Martha Tips, and Aunt Janet Coleman, both of Hereford, And of course, her sister, Miss Kelsey Tips, were all welcoming the guests. Out of town guests that were welcome included Debbie Hutto and her daughter Candace Norrod and Candace's two darling little boys. Also, Joe Jinks, and of course, all of those formerly lived in Millshoe and now live in Lubbock. And assisting Cindy Barrett as hostesses were Lynn Vandiver, Shelley Turnbow, Pam Thomason, Marilyn Riley, Jan Morris, Sally Messenger, Ruth Locker, Melba King, Jan King, Patty Kent, Debbie Hutto, Lynn Campbell, Belinda Behrens, and of course, the bride received many beautiful gifts. And of course, those gifts are also for her fiancé, Dan Hansen. And we want to say congratulations to Hillary Tips and Dan Hansen on their forthcoming marriage next month. And God bless you both. Well, the kindergarten children of Dillman Elementary School have recently had a real treat. They went on a big field trip to Leal's Tortilla Factory and McDonald's in Millshoe, the Millshoe Area Public Library, and the Millshoe Post Office. And they found out that Millshoe is a very interesting town and learned about the behind the scenes working of many of these local businesses. That was all the kindergarten students at the Dillman Elementary School here in Millshoe. And we want to say congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Nick Haynes of Denver. They have a new baby son born Saturday morning at 10:02 in Denver. This is their very first child for Nick and Tara Haynes. And the grandfather, Jim Haynes of Amarillo, formerly lived here in Millshoe for many years. And Nick and Tara have named him Rushing Davis. He weighed 6 pounds and 11 ounces at birth and is 20.5 inches long. And congratulations to all the family of Master Nick Haynes, of Master Rushing Davis Haynes of Denver, Colorado. His grandmother, Edna Lovett, formerly lived here, and she now lives in El Dorado, Illinois. We'll be back with more Muletrain news, and we're going to tell you about a lot of babies who have been baptized just over the past weekend.
Show your school spirit with the First Bank School Spirit MasterCard debit card, now available at 202 South 1st Street, 806-272-4515. Available for the Muleshoe Mules, Dimmitt Bobcats, or Bovina Mustangs. Call today. Again, 806-272-4515. Show your team spirit and earn cash for your school every time you swipe your card. Again, available for the Muleshoe Mules, Dimmitt Bobcats, or Bovina Mustangs. The First Bank School Spirit MasterCard debit card, available now. The First Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender. And along with Leal's Mexican Restaurant, bring you this edition of the Muletrain News.
Do you have family in town? Well, if you do, come to Leal's, where families come together. Leal's is a family business that started in Millshoe. They are located at 1010 West American Boulevard and serve the best of Mexican food and other treats. See you at Leal's. That's where my family goes when we are in town.
There will be a drive-through flu shot clinic this week on Wednesday, October the 14th at K&K Pharmacy, 1411 West American Boulevard right here in Millshoe. All day, 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. It's $20 cash for fast service. Come through the drive-through window or stop by the tent that they will have set up in their parking lot. They'll run your insurance upon request. That's K&K Pharmacy's drive-through flu shot clinic will be all day, 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Wednesday, October the 14th at 1411 West American Boulevard.
Sunday at St. Clement's Church here in Millshoe at the edge of town, just on 214 South. Father Sergio Leal was honored to christen several babies. Baptized was his own grandson, Job Matthew Hurtado, and Job is the son of Nick and Elisa Hurtado, and then also Sienna Jaramillo, the son of Matt Jaramillo and Mandy Nichols, Joseph Gonzalez, the son of Joseph and Jessica Gonzalez, Airline Reyes, the daughter of Vanessa Lopez and Juan Carlos Reyes, also Adeline Laura, and she is the daughter of Gisela and Jacob Laura, and also little Miss Audrey Jaramillo, and Audrey is the daughter of Matthew and Jaramillo and Janelle Moore. Congratulations on the safe arrival of all of these new children in our world and on their baptism on Sunday. Also, Mr. and Miss J. Messenger of Millshoe got to attend on Sunday the baptism of their new grandson, and that was up in Sunray, and he is the son of Jeff and Suzanne King, formerly of Millshoe, and of course Jan and Tommy King of Lubbock, formerly of Millshoe. The other grandparents were there for that baptism service. We have a lot of wonderful news about grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and guess what? Mr. and Mrs. Merlin Neal, formerly of Millshoe, have their fourth great-grandson, Eli Schuyler, and he weighed 6 pounds and 14 ounces and is 18 1/4 inches long. And welcome to our world, Master Eli Schuyler, the new great-grandson of Joe Dean and Merlin Neal, formerly of Millshoe. This makes them 4 great-grandsons and 2 great-granddaughters. Can you imagine? Time rolls on. Jerry Hicks, former Bailey County Sheriff, who now lives in Lubbock, was among those who went on the South Plains Honor Flight with veterans just recently out of Lubbock to Washington, D.C. And did he get a big surprise? When Jerry was visiting the Aerospace Museum with the other veterans, he saw an F-100. Well, of course, he was a fighter pilot and flew the F-100s. And he went to the tail and found the tail number. Yes, you're right. He had flown twice in that specific airplane that is now in the Space and Aerospace Museum in Washington, D.C. One of the times that Jerry Hicks was flying that particular F-100 plane resulted in his Medal for Distinguished Flying Cross in Vietnam. Isn't that wonderful? Now, we interviewed just recently Donald Phelps of Millshoe on Meet Your Neighbor, courtesy of United Supermarket, about his trip to Washington, D.C. on the honor flight, and he mentioned that a gentleman from Earth was also on the honor flight, and he thought he was the oldest there on the honor flight this year. And Linda Flores tells us that it was Jimmy Royston of Earth, and he is a World War II veteran. And we're so glad to know that his son went with him, Donald Phelps. And thank you, Linda Flores, for that information. We're so glad these men and women could go on the honor flight. They deserve this honor so greatly, and we thank them, each one, for the service they have given to our country. Now, many things are closed on Monday because of Columbus Day, the Millshoe schools, the post office, the banks, etc. But the Millshoe Oneida Wagner Senior Citizen Center is open, and on Tuesday they are serving for lunch roast pork, sweet potatoes, succotash, whole wheat rolls, banana pudding, and your choice of drink. On Wednesday, it's always chicken fried steak day. Thursday, barbecue chicken, roasted ranch potatoes, summer squash, tossed vegetable salad, vinaigrette dressing, whole wheat rolls, peach cobbler, and your drink. Then on Friday, it's always a choice of either fish strips or chicken strips. At the Oneida Wagner Senior Citizen Center, they serve a nutritious meal starting at 11:30 every weekday.
And of course, Mom, don't forget that Edward Jones is closed today and we won't have a market report.
The Bailey County Commissioners Court will meet in regular session at the Bailey County Courthouse on Tuesday morning at 10 and will continue until all business is conducted. Now, among the items on the agenda include: consider order to compensate officials on salary basis rather than fee basis. Direct by order that all money that would otherwise be deposited in a salary fund be deposited in the general fund. Consider ordering or authorizing Bailey County Judge Sherry Harrison to approve payment of the monthly utility bills, rent, postal requests, payment of state reports, and any payroll related to items other than regular monthly salary. Bailey County Sheriff will present to the court on Tuesday morning approval of audit, criminal assets, felony forfeitures for the past year, including October 1st last year through September the 30th this year. The court will consider authorizing Judge Harrison to submit grant application to Texas Indigent Defense Commission and pass Commissioners Court resolution, which would be attached to the grant application for the year 2015 Formula Grant Program. They will discuss and consider offices staying open at the courthouse during the lunch hour, but closing the courthouse Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Now, that would be every Friday afternoon. They're going to consider closing at 1 o'clock. They will also consider accepting bids on motor grader for Precinct 3 and consider and approve contract regarding repair and maintenance of all jail locks and doors. A fire marshal will be appointed also at Tuesday's meeting of the Bailey County Courthouse, Bailey County Commissioners Court meeting at the Bailey County Courthouse on the first floor of the courthouse. We'll be back with more Muletrain in a moment.
Veach Roofing, where Muleshoe native Jerry Veach, your hometown roofing company, says call him 806-293-5617. His work is guaranteed, and he can give you a free estimate. He does all type of roofing, residential, commercial, composition, built-up cedar, tile, metal, and Decra. He's been in business for well over 30 years at Veach Roofing. Call again, 806-293-5617. Muleshoe native Jerry Veach. His work is guaranteed, and he'll give you a free estimate. Daisies and Dirt. Make sure to see their video ad rotating on Reach Broadband Channel 6, as well as on our Facebook and Twitter feed, where Kim Birkenfeld is your official nursery and floor. She is licensed here in the state of Texas. You can call her 806-566-5875. In her greenhouse, she has kale, cabbage, mum, pansies, more, and much more. She has potting soil and fertilizer as well. See that video ad for Daisies and Dirt. She's open 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, but her hours are flexible. And call before you go out. She is located out near Lasbuddy, 806-566-5875. Daisies and Dirt and Kim Birkenfeld.
The annual Harvest Fest will be sponsored by the First Baptist Church on Wednesday evening, October the 28th from 7 to 8. And this will be in downtown Millshoe at the First Baptist Church Activity Center, located at 219 East Avenue B. So be sure and come and enjoy the fun and games and trunk or treat. So be sure and fill your trunks with candy galore for all the little trick-or-treaters, because it'll be trunk or treat on Wednesday, October 28th, 7 to 8 in downtown Millshoe at the First Baptist Church Activity Center. The Millshoe City Council has postponed their meeting due to Columbus Day until October the 19th. The Millshoe Independent School District Board of Trustees will meet Monday night at 7 at the School Administration Building, and among the items on the agenda will be consider approval of SHAC council members for 2015-16 school year, consider approval of district improvement plan, conduct an annual review of investment strategies, consider designation of fund balance, consider approval of 2016-17 Head Start grant application, and approving the 2015 District Emergency Operations Plan manual, plus approval of emergency agreement with South Plains region agencies. The school board will accept resignation and consider personnel and conduct a quarterly evaluation of the new superintendent, Dr. R.L. Richards, Monday night at 7 at their regular school board meeting. The Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous and the Al-Anon family groups both meet every Monday and Friday nights at 7 at the First United Methodist Church of Millshoe. Please use the extreme south door to enter the church. Jerry Savuto of McKinney informs us that Reed Markel is now out of the hospital at Children's Hospital in Dallas. He was dismissed on Friday morning, and he and his mother are there in their apartment in Plano. When he has chemotherapy, he will have to be hospitalized again for a period of time. Now, if you would like to send a card to Master Reed Markel and his mother in Plano, their address is 5961 West Parker Road, Plano, Texas, and the zip is 75093. And please continue to remember little 1-year-old Reed Markel, who's being treated at Children's Hospital in Dallas with chemotherapy, and his grandmother, Terry Markel, and his daddy, Ryan Markel, and his big brother, Master Casey Markel, all returned Sunday here to Millshoe after visiting last week with little Reed and his mother, Morgan, in Plano. Please continue to remember the family of Robert Miller of Louisiana in your prayers. He was the brother of Mary Nell Bleeker of Millshoe, and he died just recently. Tommy Bratcher and her husband Charles are in our prayers. Alma and Alton Burton, Olin and Nola Clements, and Joellen Coward. And by the way, we want to say in advance a big happy birthday this Wednesday to Joellen Coward. Also, Nina and Bob Landers, Clara John Schuster, Doris and R.L. Scott, Brian Taylor, Dorothy Turner are all in our prayers. Speaking of birthdays, Carolyn Johnson will be celebrating her birthday on Tuesday, October the 13th, along with Kimberly Ansel Dua, Eva Vinson, and Logan Ruthhard. And on Monday, October the 12th, a happy birthday to Connie Bruns. And congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Chester Yerby. Eleanor and Chester, congratulations on your wedding anniversary. Also, Della Puckett and Geraldine Lewis and Jerry Berry celebrate on Monday of this week. And also Martha Stroud, Rosemary Ansel Dua, and Jerry Redwine have birthdays along with Joellen Cowart on this Wednesday, October 14th. Continue to remember on your prayer list all of the family of Evelyn Richley, 89, formerly of Sudan, in your prayers, and Jackie Denham, 90, of Earth.
The swing bed program is now available at the Millshoe Area Medical Center, 708 South 1st Street, for the patient who is no longer in need of acute medical care but is not yet comfortable functioning independently at home. Call today for more information about the swing bed program, 806-272-4524, the Millshoe Area Medical Center.
In Corona, a guitar for a cowboy way out in Arizona.
Well, it is just about time for us to go on this edition of the Muletrain News, brought to you today by the First Bank along with Leal's Mexican Restaurant, the Columbus Day edition of the Muletrain News. You can find our last Muletrain news program rotating with the rest of our new content on Reach Broadband Channel 6. Also find it on our website, MuleshoeTV.com. Click on the Muletrain News link at the top center of the page.
I'm Tumbleweed Smith. We'll hear from the mild-mannered Methodist minister in Miles in a moment on The Sound of Texas.
And the Sounds of Texas are brought to you here on Reach Broadband Channel 6, as well as MuleshoeTV.com by Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, celebrating 76 years of rural electrification right here in the Millshoe area. The current employees have 621 years and 7 months worth of experience. You can check them out online, bcecoop.com. And Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association hope that you enjoyed this Sounds of Texas with Tumbleweed Smith.
I am the minister of the biggest Methodist church in Miles, Texas. The only Methodist church in Miles, Texas.
Gary Karshner.
We just had our Miles Cotton Fest. You may have seen that. We had that, and we participated with our iced tea booth. We're noted for our iced tea. You got to be noted for something, so we're noted for iced tea. And we sold, I think, about 55 gallons of iced tea.
The church's recipe for tea is complicated.
We brew it, we melt our sugar, we boil it down, and we steep it, and it becomes what we do. It takes about 4 hours to create all the tea and haul it. It's a lot of water.
Gary was born in Lubbock and has seen lots of the world. His father was in the military.
So I've traveled, and I'll say I lived in about 3 countries, 10 states, and went to 10 different schools before I graduated.
While in college, Gary considered being a teacher.
I did my student teaching and realized I didn't want to be a teacher. After a student cussed me out and threatened me, I said, I think I would come across a desk and hurt someone. I would be arrested before I would get through my first year.
In addition to his ministerial duties, Gary is a cowboy poet and historian. He also has had a DJ business for 23 years.
I enjoy it. It's fun. I do the Miles Halloween contest. We block off the main street and have games, and kids have their trucks picked up and they give candy out, and there'll be a contest, and it's a lot of fun. So I just do that for the fun of it, and we'll do other things for grins and giggles if they need me.
He does weddings and sometimes books 2 years in advance.
I MC weddings, have fun. Anybody can play music, but it takes a little bit more to lead a crowd, to energize a crowd, and to guide a wedding party through their activities for their reception.
He can handle some big jobs.
I can do the Coliseum, I can do a football stadium. My favorite of all things, Tumbleweed, is high school reunions, because they hear a song and they immediately go back in time to what they were, where they were, who they were dating, what they were driving, where they were working. You can see people get lost in a moment.
Gary has had to replace a few microphones.
It's when you get them and say, is this on? And they hit it and bang it, and they get a little drunk, maybe a little bit of party, and they drop it, and I don't want to sing. So I've probably gone through a dozen.
Gary Karshner, Methodist minister in Miles. I'm Tumbleweed Smith with the Sound of Texas.